Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode number 80. We still have some national road races to get through. I'm not sure if it's going to be the entirety of the episode or not yet, but let's just go ahead and get into it. We are in Italy. We've got Piccioni this time. We have a lot of undulation for this one, which definitely gives him a chance because they're not easy climbs. And he's got a +1 race day condition, which is giving him just a little bit of a boost with his quality. He should still be around with the final group. Let's hope it's not a breakaway group in this one. And he is definitely not at the top of the list of favorites, but he's within the list of favorites. Let's see if he can manage to get a decent result in this one. We're already through the first climb of the day. And realistically, I'd say we are dealing with 7 peaks. With a little bit of undulation otherwise in between, but 7 climbs on the day. The first one was the shortest. Second one coming up here shortly, and we have a breakaway of 6 that has now been established, and we are seeing that time go out. It's out to 2:48. Let's hope it does not go out too drastically. Otherwise, we might need to be trying to bridge the gap and go join them. It's still going out for now, 3:27, but there's definitely riders leading, but the gap is growing. So is it going to get to be too much, or are we gonna actually keep this thing under control at some stage? 5:33 is a huge gap, but it's 190 kilometers still to go in this one. I know it's approaching 6 minutes, and I'm getting more and more nervous that the top 6 is already guaranteed. More and more it's feeling like it. Okay, 7:27. Let's see what happens if we attack. We don't have much of a choice but to try to bridge that gap at that sort of scale as we attack the descent here. We are within 7 minutes, and the field is attacking. Let's go ahead and get water. So they don't want me to get away, so that one's not happening. But the gap is 7:12, but now it seems to be holding. So maybe we spurred the Peloton on to do something. 5 riders are off the back, but I believe that was a crash, and they have regained contact, and the gap is getting smaller. So whatever we did there, if it had anything to do with us, I'm not sure, but it sure feels like we triggered the Peloton to wake up and do something about those 6 that are off the front. Effort for Piccioni. It's not a hard chase, but is the chase going to be fast enough to pull back the brake? It's slowly bringing it back at this point. We've brought back half a minute in the last 20K. All right, on to peak number 3, and this is the peak that we are going to be repeating. And the finish line is not at the top. It's in the middle of the climb, so that's one thing we're going to want to keep an eye on. 114K to go. Let's go ahead and get water. We'll need to get water one more time. Big Peloton today. Plenty of firepower, though. But you can see we're still not chasing terribly hard. But the gap is down to 420, so we are getting closer. I am far less worried about them taking it than I was before. Let's slow down on this climb a little bit here so we can see what's happening as we take this climb for a second time. 1K to go. Weaves back and forth. There's that finish line, and then you can see that the climb just keeps right on going. That's about halfway up. So that last time is going to be a little bit punchy. But the good news on that one is Piccioni is definitely a bit punchy. You need a good mountain rating to get through all the climbs leading up to the climb. That was number 4 of 7 on the day. So we are now past halfway. Kilometer wise, we're down inside 80 to go, so we are definitely on the tail end. The breakaway has split up, 1 rider anyway, so 5 left off the front, and 3:23 is the gap to the front 5. So as they lose firepower, as they fade, that's making things stronger, and you can also see that our tempo has risen. And there is that first breakaway rider coming back. Who are the other 5 that are out there? No threats. Machete, maybe. I don't think Machete's a climber, though. Still climbing easy enough for Piccioni. Really trying to save it for the last couple of climbs. especially without the support. Okay, here comes the next rider, and that breakaway is more and more split now as our chase is coming on, and you can see we are starting to play into the maximum a little bit. Maximum's fallen off, but we do have an 80 stamina, so I don't expect it to fall off too much. We needed water one more time. Let's go ahead and get it. Final time getting water. 2 at the front, 1 in no man's land, and down to under 2 minutes. I think this is the climb that's going to be decisive. This is the one we need to speed up for, but not for this part. This part is the hill before the hill. We just didn't want to drop too far back, but now, and you can see, attack is on. Maznata, Eliotti, Muscan. These are favorites. They are sitting up, but not quite. Those 4 are off the front. Bet you if I attack, they'll get caught.
The pack's deficit is being cut
Yep.
back. They really are moving.
Peloton
The pack
splits,
can't get
but
strung
let's
out
bridge
too
that
long,
gap.
or it's
Ooh, we
going
got
to
off the
break
front.
up. Oh, the list of those left behind goes on rising.
Okay, we've got a front 6 chasing 2. Now, they're going to catch us. This is not going to stay away. It's only 18 seconds. There goes that red bar. 25 seconds. Maybe it will stay away. Eliotti, Piccolo. Not much cooperation within the group here. Now front 5. And pulling away from the pack, which is now down to just 58 riders. We can recover on the descent. Who can keep up with us? Not getting help and support as we go through the finish line. Ease off. Now it's front 7. Okay, front 5. Minute 18 advantage, but I need to recover on the descent to come. I did the work to get us free. Now, can I recover and have anything left for the finish? There we go. Recovery is on. Recovery is on. 20-second advantage, 28 riders, and they catch us. Damn it. Well, there goes the effort that we put in. All for naught. And we're seeing an attack, are we?
Another attack. This time
We
it
are.
could go
Filippo
all
Zana.
the way.
And a good 10 riders, 12 riders, and nobody really
The pace is so high,
caring
the
to
riders
chase
are
right
getting
now.
very sore at the end of the day.
That's 10 riders going
50
clear.
kilometers remaining.
But now chasing. So we're going to hang our position. 10 at the front. But again, pulling a gap. Not much left in the tank for what's going to happen at the end, but as we go over the top here, we'll settle in. Gel. Oh, how did that gap open again? Come on. Baroncini. Lets it open up, and we just don't have much in the tank to chase those 6 down.
Just past the 10 kilometers road sign.
And Piccioni, even with good stamina, you need a better race day condition than pretty much neutral to do anything by yourself. And now you're seeing how important it is to have a team around you. You know, this plays into that perfectly. Piccioni could be, should be strong, and yet he's not. And you know, we're looking at plenty of guys around us that are doing as much or more than what he is able to do here. We are going to bridge that gap and pull it back together. Now just 20 riders left, but immediately an attack of about 8 to 10. But we've got nothing. We've got nothing. So we're missing the top 10 now entirely. Back together. One rider somehow has escaped the front. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but Piccioni's going to really just be hanging on for the climb. Starting from the tail end is not a good place to be, but we just do not have...
Quickly.
Yep, there goes 14 guys through. Can we outclimb some of these guys? Can we get back to the top 10? Looks like that is a big no. So Piccioni, big failure today. Will not even score a top 10.
It required a lot of energy, and he showed he was above the rest today. We're waiting for the back markers, who appear to be fairly numerous
One rider.
in this difficult race.
One rider. And I bet you we could have won that thing. Gets 15th instead. I mean, that's the key difference between that protect button and using somebody else to chase than having to do everything yourself. Participating in that attack, right? I get those comments often about attacking. When you play on normal difficulty, no problem. You can do that. You can really do that on a regular basis. When you play on easy, oh my goodness, you can attack all day long because they have negatives, and so your riders are stronger. But when you are even equal to other riders, the bonus they get on this difficulty level, it's impossible to be the one who goes out and puts that foot down, because the energy drain that you get, you don't recover. And they do. They have endless energy compared to you. So without somebody else doing that dirty work, you're done each and every time. And this is a perfect example of that. Piccioni was not in bad shape today. He's cutting 80 stamina, 80 mountain, 78 hills, 72 flat, 74 downhill. He's got all the right attributes to do better than that, to potentially win that race. But to put our foot down for even a single climb in a group that was the strongest riders that should be breaking away and pulling away and leaving a huge gap behind us, it didn't happen. They were unable to pull away. So all of these weaker riders somehow not only pulled us back, but then easily rode away from us on the next climb, on the final climb. I've gone ahead and simulated the rest of those road races, so we are ready to begin the Tour de France. Our goal is the points jersey for this one, sponsor objective and personal goal. We won a couple stages last year but didn't compete for it, so we were able to win sprint stages. We essentially brought the same sort of team last year that we are bringing this year for this one, but didn't participate in that green jersey. We didn't really go for it. So this year, different story. That means we're going to have to play a lot more stages to get after that, and we may have to go for intermediate sprints as time goes on, but we will bypass at least some of the stages along the way so that we can keep our pace up relatively well. But let's check in on the team that's going to be there and how they have prepared, and I'll let you know one key change that I am making to the squad for this one. So first up, Jan Bach. You can see his preparation. He was in great shape with almost no fatigue whatsoever, but in his preparation for the race is a little tired, but not enough to the point where it's going to impact him until, third week. Bausch is another one who hadn't done any racing. He had been injured. He had literally zero fatigue. He does 2 races for a total of 11 days in the 2 months leading up to the race, plus national championships, gives him a total of 13 days of racing over 2 months. And he's coming into this thing already with 45 fatigue. Terrible. But at least his fitness has come up. It's at a 94%, and he has started his fitness peak. McKellar's another one who didn't have a very busy schedule by any stretch of the imagination, but just in that build-up, just preparing for that objective, a lot of guys are carrying extra fatigue in this one. He's going to start his fitness peak quite soon. Mikkels, same thing. It's just the build-up phase, and it's got him carrying a little extra fatigue, but he should be in good shape. Same with Johannes Peters. He's only raced a few days. Piccioni is our one climber that we've really brought to this one. And, of course, it's a back-to-back for him, so he has not recovered from the Giro. He is going to be tired as this race goes on, but he's going to be serving as a domestique anyway for this one. We'll hopefully get him recovered in time for Il Lombardia, as this is a different type of support role than what he did at the Giro. Vandenberg's in pretty good shape entering this one. The massive downside, though, which I do not understand at the slightest, we're looking at a series of classics, and then nothing from the end of April till mid-July. He's had very few days of racing over that stretch. The build-up for this, obviously, like everybody else, gives fatigue as you prepare. He's at 99%, and he had a fitness peak end 3 days ago. Where in the world did he get a fitness peak? I don't get it. I don't understand it. He's our main guy for this one, or one of our main guys. It's a chance we're going for Peters instead of Vandenberg, but Vandenberg has absolutely ruined whatever chance he was going to have of being the leader for this race, potentially, by having his fitness peak end 3 days ago, before it should have ever even started. Now, the last guy who was slated for this one was the other. There was 2 riders set to do a back-to-back. One was for Mark, who worked as a domestique through the Giro, and you can see how he went from no fatigue to, gosh, he was a little fatigued for that build-up, and then he served as a domestique, and by the end of the Giro was exhausted, had virtually no recovery, and then goes right into preparation for his second objective, the Tour de France, and he's at 90 level fatigue. He's going to carry a -4 or -5 every single day. He's already down at just 83% on the fitness and is very tired. Okay, for Mark, out. I don't have a choice. He is out. We have got to get him on recovery. So in his place, the only guy who's really available, this is going to screw things up later, but we'll figure it out, Potomar. Potomar is going to serve as that domestique instead. You can see he's already building up. He's got 94%. We'll switch this last moment. First stage, first intermediate checkpoint coming up. 2 riders in the break. They're definitely not getting caught, but McKellar and Bausch are going to lead out Vandenberg and Peters. I want to get points for both of them. And as we're now within 5K, 83 effort was clearly not going to get us anywhere with McKellar, so let's speed up quite a bit here. In fact, the lead up to this one, there's a lot of teams hungry for this one. There is some undulation. We're going to go downhill here in a second and then go uphill right after McKellar, putting that foot down. 81 for him, so he's got quality. Now 2K, but he's got a good downhill as we kind of go downhill, so let him take that. I'm going to have Bausch get out of the way. Vandenberg, go ahead and start your sprint, Vandenberg. Okay, and then Peters as well. A little bit uphill, so let's see what sort of placement we can get. Peters can't get through the group, so not our best finish on that one. Good thing that was just, a warm-up. Grelier and Vergaard are the guys out front. Van Aert, Delay, Penho. Vandenberg gets 6th so far. Peters is 8th. I do not want those guys still continuing on. Can we, sit up? Go back, please. Final 15K, and we are forming our training, getting out there. Piccioni as we go over the final hill. I don't know why this stage is laggy. It's the Tour de France. They have too much going on, apparently, because I haven't had anything lag since the upgrades to the computer even once. So first time in a long time. But anyway, Piccioni leading us out. He's taking care of the hill. Everybody else is in good shape. No red bar used up. And Piccioni is going to start to bring us down the hill. And we get down to 11 kilometers to go before we're going to hand over the reins to Potomar. Piccioni is the only one that does not have a good flat rating. Potomar is not fantastic, but a 76 is still, quite good for the purposes. And those are the 2, pure domestiques. Those are the 2 climbers that are going to help these guys get through the mountainous stages. So we've brought a really good lead-out team this time. We are really, really focused on the sprint as we go through and see why. All that extra stuff that we're dealing with here is why we are not seeing a good gels for these first 3 guys. Why you're not seeing any, why you are getting some lag. They are just putting a ton of extra stuff into this stage. Potomar's done, so on a Bach, 78 for him. 6.5K. Bausch, Mickels, Vandenberg, we're inside 6K, and we're going flat out from here. So
we're into the last 5 kilometers.
little downhill section. 4K, let's go ahead and get down to these last guys here. So Bach, go ahead and help break toe. 3.2. Let's check our profile of what's left. Now, so let's do it. You could see that, you know, this far down the line, we are putting a lot of stress in the legs of other guys around us, but barely hurting Peters this far back, and we're at 1.7 already. And then Bausch coming through. Mickels needs to give that better sprint, that better lead out. 800 meters. I think really that's close enough. Just go ahead. No more lead out. Just go for it. Wow, how are these guys that fast? Peters finds a little space. Mickels is going to get second. Penhote takes the win. Mickels gets second. Apparently that was the right time to go. Groves, Merritt, good miss. Van Aert. Peters gets 7th. Vandenberg gets 10th. I do think we will come away with a stage win, or maybe 2 at some point, but we don't have the fastest sprinters. And the fastest sprinters are here. It is going to take a combination of factors to do something. I think somebody like Peters is going to do well on a punchy stage. They clearly could have gone a little bit earlier today. Mickels went at the perfect time. Tried to put them under stress. Did not work today anyway. Stage 2 is the team time trial, which has no impact on what we're trying to do for our goals with the green jersey, though we are actually borrowing the green jersey today after Mickels finished second on the stage. Race day condition is good. You know, it's green for everyone, and we're going to see what we can do. I thought I was pushing about an 89 initially. We're only pushing an 86, so we're definitely going to have to go deeper than this. I think if we are going to... Oh, yeah, we're not even touching anybody. I was thinking 89 was kind of the way to go, so we are going to push 89. Peters is going to try to push a 90. And Vandenberg's going to try to push a 90. I have 3 riders that are on the weaker side, and we're going to see if they can, you know, give us a little bit of support, and then 5 guys to get to the end. As timing doesn't matter for this one, we're going to just see what we can do. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, and I've said it in tutorials before, never give up an opportunity to practice the game's hardest skill, which is the team time trial. 89 is usually a good one. Bausch already rolling off the front. I added time for our best guy, which was Bausch, so he should be spending a little bit longer on the front. Peters already rolls off. Red Barn made it, so that extra effort. Now, how much recovery will he get from the back is kind of the big question as we have everybody in play. Peters still struggling. He's struggling to keep up right now. Now he's starting to get a little recovery. When you go off the back, there's still more work to be done to kind of get back on and get in line. As you see how it does that. So looks like we're doing things about right, as you know, like Peters is struggling here. I think Peters needs to get out of the rotation, just go to the back. He's not going to last 17K. But that's okay. You know, he's here for the green jersey today. Getting dropped by the group doesn't matter. And it is starting to happen. Peters, first to get dropped. We're down to 7 guys. And I have 2 other weaker ones. I do have my 5 that I expect to make it to the end. Vandenberg. Where are you at, Vandenberg? Vandenberg's the other one who's not going to last much longer. Surprise, surprise that the 2 proper sprinters are the weakest guys here in the discipline. Mickels was the other one that I expect to get dropped. For now, he's hanging in, and he's done a good turn, but I think he's also about to get dropped. So let's let him kind of fall out of this thing and let Bausch get up there. 9K to go, second check. We were 12th at the first check, 11th at this check. It's not the best time, but it's still a fairly good time, and Mickels is actually hanging on just about. But his job is to just kind of hang in there for now. Peters, yeah, he's not too far back. Okay, Vandenberg, how we looking? Where is Vandenberg? Vandenberg, okay, he's got a little bit. We'll give him a very short turn on the front, and it'll be his last turn. $3K to go. He peels off, and we will put him to the back. He will not take another turn. Now, these guys, meanwhile, with 2K to go, we can take all of them because there's already 5 guys. There's 5 guys. Push a 91. We're almost to the end. Get that 1 or 2 more seconds. Vandenberg gets dropped. Peters has already been dropped. You can see he's not that far behind. Vandenberg, I think, can push a 99. And Mikkels, same thing. There they go across the line. 9th. So we moved up. 33 seconds down. And Peters, he's fine. He is totally fine. As a team, we are 9th place. That's just about the end. So, yeah. Hey, we got a top 10 as a team with only 1 good time trialist and 1 good race day condition kind of guy, but only 3 that were really weak. And they all did their part. They helped us out, and they didn't lose too much time. And then we got 5 guys solidly across the line. Time's taken on the 5th man. Van Aert's the new leader of the race. Vanderpool, Turney, Sime, Evenepoel are your top 5. McKellar, Bausch, they are 8th, 9th, Piccioti 10th. So that's kind of where we start to fall in place at. Yeah, our 5 guys came in at 33 seconds down. Mikkels was 40, Vandenberg 46. Peters, minute 53. And yeah, look at that. We are all over the top 10 at the moment. Still in contention. It looks like stage 1 did have some time gaps. I didn't really check. But looks like we had a fairly small group at the finish line because you're looking at 1 guy from UAE, 1 guy from Jumbo-Visma, 1 guy from Ineos, 3 from Quick-Step, 1 from Trek, and then our whole group of, well, 5 guys plus Mikkels lost time. Mikkels was the one who had gained time previously. He's now 1 second behind his teammates, as he was second on the day and gained those 6 seconds. Stage 3, first punchy stage here of the tour. And Bausch is going to lead out Vandenberg and Peters on the intermediate sprint 3-man break. And they are just starting to get into position. We have 5K to go. Bausch has an 84 flat rating today, which is good to, set up his teammates. We're just getting faster and faster as these guys get into position now. 4K, so Bausch speeding up. 3K. Looking for some intermediate points and looking for a good performance today as we get inside 3K, and Bausch just riding hard. 2K, Vandenberg. We want to get Vandenberg going too. Vandenberg is 1.4. That's his time to take off. Lead out Peters, and now Peters also going in much better performance today, but Van Aert's still faster. Van Aert is still faster, and that's why it's going to take more. It's not just going to come down to winning sprints, because that's not who we are. That's not what we're going to do. Winning some stages, right? We're going to have to do some additional stuff to make this happen. But today's the kind of day where you can leave behind a lot of guys. Oh, well, Van Aert's going to be a difficult one to beat. Okay, water. Final time. And Bausch, I know you just did some work, but you have the best flat rating. They have best stamina. So you're going to feel this a lot less, and you can see how he's recovering quite quickly and not feeling much. Team is nice and fresh as we go to prepare for what is to come. It is a proper punchy stage. The right kind of punchy. I'm loving what this last 60 kilometers is going to look like today. Those 3 riders at 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a healthy gap at 53K. With all that undulation and just 3 riders, they have no chance. All right. Now, getting ourselves back in position for what's to come, especially with some non-climbers. First climb of the day. After the 4th climb, before the final 2. Actually, final 3. There's one at the finish as well. After the fourth climb is when we are going to start implementing our plan and getting set up in that sprint train and getting on with it, making it hard on the sprinters behind us. You can see there's already some wear and tear, part of that from the intermediate sprint. That's one climb done. And that's going to get us through climb number 2. Speed up for climb number 3. Mickles. Hopefully he has not taken out anybody else. He's done for the day. Let's make sure he gets up and continues moving. No! Come on! Stage 3 with a +5 daily expected. And we lose Mickles for the race. 18 stages to go. 18 and a quarter stages to go. Damn it. That was our second lead out guy. Now we have plenty of fallback options, but that is not good. Mickles still has not even been dropped yet, but will be.
The riders have upped the pace.
Is he moving? No. Yeah, these guys are still spinning out. I should have been withdrawn already. It was freaking me out. Alright. 3 climbs done. Going through climb number 4. We will set up our train before the next climb as we go over this one. No breakaway anymore. Potomar on a -3 and ready to lead things out. Push us through that first climb. Now we've got to make sure that the guys have something left after this climb. But we want to damage the other teams. This is going to be steep, but they're further down the line. They're going to have some protection. The last 2 are definitely not as severe as this one. Alright, Potomar putting foot down, not hurting his teammates too much, though Vandenberg, Bausch, both feeling it a bit, are already near the top. Potomar done with this turn. Onto Piccioni. Let Potomar drop to the back and offer protection. Get out of the way. To the right, please. Piccioni goes over the top. He's going to collect points. 2 of them in the KOM.
The finish line is getting close. The riders have just passed the 15 kilometer.
And we've split the field. Now just 22 at the front. This is what I was aiming to do. Because now we can ride hard. 12K. 30-second advantage. 21 riders there. Piccioni going through here. Now he is very punchy for the next climb, so I kind of want to swap him and McKellar and Potomar. We don't need to break toe anymore. It's back up to 44 riders for the time. You know what? Oh, let's go 99. McKellar take over the lead. Piccioni dropped up P2. Potomar back into position. They'll have a little bit more in the tank. Piccioni does not have much. Piccioni. Go ahead and drop back. Go ahead and gel up. And Piccioni's done. Goodbye. See you later. Keller, red bar's gone, but he's got the yellow. 7.4. We're going to attack again on that next climb. So Potomar, get out of the way, as you don't have enough to do anything. Gel. This is the climb, so Bach, go. Keller, get behind Peters. Not done climbing yet. False flat. Now we climb again. Piccioni, Potomar. Others falling off. We've dropped another guy. Bach out of red bar. So one Ineos rider, Pidcock, going for the stage, gets ahead of us. But now we are well set. 2.3. Holy cow. I didn't think we were this close to the end. but we are. Bach pushing, leading it out. 39 riders left in contention. And we are sprinting. Bach, full gas. There you go. Bausch, full gas. Vandenberg, Peters, 600 meters. And we are very well positioned for at least a top 5 here. And can we out sprint these guys? Come on, come on. Can we get a 1-2? We're ahead of Delay. Vandenberg's going to win, and Peters is going to get second. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, we get our 2 leaders. A 1-2 finish. Van Aert gets 4th. Van Tricht. Ayuso. Pidcock only 7th. Bernal. Johannesson. And not sprinters other than Van Aert. Oh, Delay, maybe. So most sprinters miss out and collect no points. That was the main point about today, was isolating the sprinters, leaving them behind, pushing at the end. Vandenberg and Peters 1-2. I would have had that reversed, but that's okay. I'll take it. Following that stage 3 with a small group at the finish, time gaps emerging here, there, everywhere, plus the top 3 ended up 6 seconds ahead of the chasers, so we had 16 seconds and 12 seconds gained for our 2 leaders in this one, and that gives us now 4th place overall. Of course, this is not something we're going to be hanging on to by any stretch of the imagination. We don't really want the leader's jersey, but I actually wouldn't mind having it for a stage or 2. But Vandenberg, McKellar, Bausch, and Bach all in the top 10. While Van Aert leads, though, it's going to be really hard to get the jersey off his back, as he, Evenepoel, are fantastic climbers, so we're not going to beat them. Van Aert only has 73. Mountain, though, that's not right. That guy's like Evenepoel. He should have a 76, 77. We've seen him climb at the Tour de France quite comfortably. No, he's not one of the best climbers around the world, but Delay, I'm surprised he kept up with that 62 mountain, but that 80 flat might have had something to do with it. Maybe a +5. He'll fall off on one of these stages, and punchy stages, and get left behind. That one apparently was just short enough. Same with Van Aert. Hopefully, Evenepoel's not going anywhere though. In terms of the points classification, we have the lead for now. Vandenberg is the points leader. Penhout was somebody we left behind. He got really good points on stage 1, winning that stage, picking up 50 at the finish, plus 18 at the intermediate, or a couple points today intermediate, and I think he had about 12 at the intermediate of stage 1. But Vandenberg has the lead for now. Peters is the one we're really properly riding for, is 59, right there in the mix, a point ahead of Van Aert, and we're starting to leave a number of others behind in the classification. This thing is far from done. It's 3 stages in, 18 to go, and it is going to take a lot of work to win the jersey, but this is definitely a good start. Those 80 points from Vandenberg are taking those 80 points away from other guys, even if we are ultimately riding for Peters. And if Vandenberg pulls ahead enough, you keep right on working the 2 and you swap and you ride for Vandenberg. But he's got the better race day condition right now. Peters is going to have better race day condition as the race goes on. So that's why I don't mind Vandenberg stealing points from him early on. If he gets far enough ahead, you just change tactics. But I think Peters is going to get stronger as the race goes on. And so ultimately right now, this is wonderful that it's Vandenberg with 80 and not Merlier or Van Aert or Jakobsen, right? Having those guys further down and him stealing points from his teammate is quite okay at this stage. We almost have a KOM jersey and under 25s jersey, and we do have a team classification at this point. So, wow for that part. But, realistically, we're only riding for the 1 jersey, for the green jersey. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.